Most people have no idea what the typical American is actually worth. You see headlines like, the average 30-something has $500,000, and it makes you feel like you're falling behind. But that's a lie. Those averages are skewed by billionaires and other people making stupid amounts of money. Imagine 9 kids each have $1 and 1 kid has $100. The average says each kid has $10, but in reality, most kids only have $1. That's why median is more useful and gives a way better picture of what's normal. Today, we're breaking down the real net worth numbers by age in the US for people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and up. I'll show you what people really have, why those numbers look the way they do, and the goals you should actually be setting. Okay, so first we have your 20s. This is the decade where most people are just trying to build a solid foundation. Between student loans, credit cards, and car payments, it's totally normal to feel like your debts outweigh your assets. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances, the median net worth under age 35 is $39,000, while the average is $183,500. That gap is insane, right? It's because the average is being pulled up by a tiny number of people. Maybe they got stock options at a startup, or they just inherited their money. The truth is closer to the median. And to get more specific, Empower's 2024 analysis says the average 20-something has $113,000, but the median is just $7,600. That's what most young people are actually working with. So what does this mean for you? If you're in your 20s, your main goals should be to get to a positive net worth, build a $5,000 to $10,000 emergency fund. An emergency fund is your safety net. It keeps you from going into debt next time your car breaks down or you get hit with a surprise bill. And instead of leaving that money sitting in a checking account earning nothing, put it into a high-yield savings account where you earn 4 to 5% per year, where it's still safe and FDIC insured, but it's also earning high interest every month. If you don't have one yet, I've linked the best current high-yield savings accounts down below. And your last goal should be to start investing even with a small amount. $200 a month invested in your 20s will grow to over $500,000 by retirement thanks to compound interest. If you wait until your 30s to start investing, you'll have to save triple to catch up to the same amount. The biggest danger in your 20s honestly isn't being broke, it's thinking you can wait. And if you're wondering how to actually start, I use Webull because it's free to set up and simple to use. You can check out my link in the description if you want to try it out and get some free stock. Your 30s. This is the decade where people's paths really start to split. The median net worth is $135,600, but the average is $549,600. That's a $400,000 difference. Why? Home ownership. Federal Reserve data shows homeowners in their 30s have about 40 times the wealth of renters. That's the power of equity. But here's the trap: lifestyle inflation. That means as people get raises at their jobs, they're also spending more on weddings, daycare, vacations, and cars, and suddenly you're making way more but saving nothing. If you're in your 30s, your goal should be to get at least $100,000 invested or saved for retirement. That alone puts you ahead of most of your peers. If you're able to buy a home and start building equity, even better. The biggest trap you want to avoid is getting caught up in spending everything you make. I've seen people making 6 figures who are broke, but I've seen people making $60,000 and already have a house and investments. Income doesn't equal net worth, and that's where discipline comes in. Your 40s. At this age, the median net worth is $247,200, while the average is $975,800. That's almost $1 million on average, but again, most people are closer to that $250,000 number. This is usually your peak earning decade, but also your peak spending decade. Kids, tuition, mortgages, maybe even taking care of your parents. Fidelity reports the average 401k balance at 45 is $162,000. Here's the scary part. Half the people in their 40s have less than $40,000 saved for retirement. That's the make or break factor. If you've been investing since your 20s, this is where compounding takes off. If you haven't, catching up is almost impossible. So if you're in your 40s, the goal is to have a retirement fund with over $150,000, a house with equity, and almost no consumer debt. The difference between someone with $40,000 saved and someone with $200,000 saved at this stage is night and day by retirement. Your 50s. This is the decade where the median net worth is $364,500, while the average is $1.13 million. But here's the harsh truth. About a third of people in their 50s have less than $100,000 saved for retirement. That's why you see people in this decade swinging for the fences by flipping houses, gambling on risky stocks, and trying to make up for the lost time. But 9 times out of 10, it backfires. The smarter play? Kill off your debt. Paying off your mortgage in your 50s frees up $1,000 to $3,000 a month. That's money you can then funnel straight into retirement accounts. Combine that with catch-up contributions to your 401k or IRA, and you can still build some serious wealth. The goal here is to push your retirement balances toward $500,000 or more, and ideally have your mortgage paid off. Your 60s and up. On paper, the numbers look great for this decade. Your median net worth between 65 and 74 years old is $409,900, while the average is a striking $1.79 million. Sounds like everyone's retiring rich, right? Wrong. Nearly half the retirees rely on Social Security for the majority of their income, and the average benefit is about $1,800 a month. That's not enough in most places. And if you spread that $400,000 over 25 years of retirement, you're looking at about $1,600 a month. That's not nearly enough if you take into account medical expenses and taxes. The real dividing line in retirement is whether you own your home and if you've built savings beyond Social Security. Older people with paid off houses and diversified accounts live comfortably. Everyone else is pretty much scrambling, and that's not where you want to be. So if you want the simple plan, in your 20s, just get a solid foundation of saving and start investing as a habit. In your 30s, really try to build equity. In your 40s, kill as much debt as possible. In your 50s, have your house already paid off. And in your 60s, preserve it, protect it, and most importantly, enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and again, I'll leave the links below to the high yield savings accounts that I use and Webull if you want an easy way to start investing. If you want to learn how to become a millionaire on a low salary, click this video right here and leave a like on this one and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.